Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. It is time for some good old-fashioned neurodivergent memes. It's what I'm here for. It's what I do. It is way too relatable a lot of the time. But oh well. You know the drill though. Before we get started, go get hydrated, grab some water or some tea or whatever else you like to drink. And then we'll look at some memes and call ourselves out. Are you hydrated? Good, let's go. Okay, just because I'm awake doesn't mean I'm ready to do things. People who talk to you first thing in the morning, literally, what are you doing? Why did you think that was a good idea? Listen, I'm awake. Barely. Why y'all talking? My god. Okay, there are no limits to what you can accomplish when you're supposed to be doing something else. Listen. If something is urgent enough, you can usually do it, right? Because it's so urgent that you have like 20 minutes till deadline, and then you can do the thing. But until then, if you need to accomplish something, but you know it's not that urgent, but you still have like so much nervous energy from knowing you have to do the thing that you manage to get a lot of other things done, I still fail to see it as a bad thing. Because I know that in the moment it's kind of frustrating, because then you're like doing all these things and you're just like, I really should be doing this thing. But you're still getting things done, so I'm not that mad at it actually. What time did you go to bed last night? Autistic me. Early. Why? Listen, if you're looking like this, I think going to bed early isn't even gonna help. You need like 10 years of sleep probably and 3 liters of water. Not all at once. I don't think that would be a good idea. I'm all for being hydrated, but I don't think that much at once is a good idea. But still, I think our perception of time is different anyways, so saying early, why, is kind of fair. I mean, listen, maybe it was a normal time for you to go to bed. You know, maybe it's just these neurotypicals who go to bed way too early and then start the day way too early. Come on. I guess autism won today. Woo, we win! Yay, go autism! So what did we win? Well, no. My child has had a massive meltdown that ruined my day. I've lost war against autism today. Did you try to figure out what caused the meltdown and how you could accommodate them? A little communication could go a long way. Stop making this about my child. This is about me. Okay, these kind of autism parents are so frustrating. Because literally, it's not really the autism that causes the meltdown, but the lack of accommodation for said autism. Right? So you making it about yourself and being like, oh, it ruined my day. Well, guess how your child feels. Guess what? Having a meltdown is worse than you feeling embarrassed for that meltdown as a parent, or being annoyed by it because it ruined your day because you were to do something else. Well, guess what? Yes, the autism won. But really, I'm gonna blame you for it. Because if you're like this, like sure, your kid might have meltdowns even if it isn't your fault. But listen, if you refuse to talk to them and try to accommodate them, it is kind of your fault. Your day's ruined, actually. Okay, business idea pitch. An ADHD hyperfixation hobby swap service for when you've already bought a ton of stuff for a new hobby and then you aren't interested in it anymore. You can go online and swap hobbies with another ADHD person so you don't have to keep buying shit. Yes. This literally is such a good idea. It is such a good idea because you get really hyperfixated and you're like impulse buy. Like, let's say you get really into like painting. You buy like a lot of canvases and a lot of different paints and brushes and everything. But then 2 weeks later, your brain's like, you know what, no. And then you have all that stuff staying around. And you hyperfixate on something else. Listen, swapping it with someone else is such a good idea. I really like it. Person, if you didn't understand, you could have asked me to explain it instead of trying to guess. Autistic me. Well, until now I thought I did understand because I felt no confusion about what the person said. I am now realizing that I, processed what they said differently than they intended, but I couldn't have known that before. Yeah, okay, but literally, this is what happens when people don't communicate clearly. Because if you know that someone is always like very literal and very direct, you can take that at face value, what they say. If they say something, you're just like, okay, I understood what they said, I can do the thing they asked me to do. But if you don't really know, because they don't really clearly state it, but then later get mad because you were supposed to do it completely different, but they never said that, they just thought you knew, you can't really blame them for it. You really can't. When my autistic ass goes outside, okay, I still pull this face with sunglasses on, but going without sunglasses, bad idea. Just a really bad idea. When you're overstimulated, but someone won't stop talking to you, okay, motherfucking speak to me like I understand words. Wow, cool. Yeah, literally. Someone's talking to you, and you see their mouth moving, and you hear gibberish, and just like, I know you're talking in the language I should understand, but listen, no. Just no. Autistic me, trying to hold on to a thought that's rushing to escape. I mean, if you look this glamorous while doing it, I'm not really mad, but let me know if it works, because for me it never does. Maybe looking glamorous is the key. Does it help holding the thoughts? ADHD kids rearranging their rooms at midnight. ADHD kids. Listen. I'm not technically a kid anymore, but I will still do this with my apartments. Because listen, if it hits, it hits. And sometimes that happens at really weird times. And if it's midnight, you still gotta do it. That's the rule. Me, grabs another coffee. Stomach, stop. Heart, stop. Brain, oh yes, 5 more. Okay, literally. It's been a long time since I actually heard my heart racing from having too much caffeine. So that's a plus. And my stomach's usually pretty sensitive, but to coffee or caffeine, not actually that much. I'm really glad, because my brain's literally like that. It's just like, yes, I need more caffeine, literally. I don't react to caffeine, but my brain does. Like, I don't get jittery. I don't have more energy from caffeine, which is kind of a scam sometimes, because sometimes when I'm really tired, but I don't want to go to sleep, I'm just like, okay, if caffeine would work, that'd be brilliant, but it doesn't. But still, it does help your brain focus. And that's just true, and I don't get people who say it doesn't. Like, why wouldn't it? You know? Okay, people with ADHD talk like a music playlist on shuffle. Yeah, especially my music playlist. I'm always confused by it. It's so all over the place, you know? But that's okay. That's cool. But literally, it happens, okay? Only if you have your music playlist on shuffle, it'll finish a song before playing the next one. ADHD people can't really do that. Like, sometimes your brain's gonna like switch in the middle of a thought, okay, and then you're talking in half sentences and you haven't really finished one topic, but you're still like already going on to the next, because you're not remembering that you aren't done with one topic, you know? ADHD and excitement. Me is excited about something. Me forgets what I'm excited about, but is still excited. Me gets confused. Me remembers what I'm excited about. Me, oh my god, I am so excited. And then forgets again. This on repeat. Listen, sometimes you're just in a bad mood and you don't know why. And sometimes I'm mad at people and I don't remember why. Like, listen, there are people at work. I don't like them. I can't tell you why anymore. I just don't. But it's really nice, actually, if it happens with like positive emotions, like if you're really excited about something and then forget about it. Like, it doesn't happen often enough. Like, it happens more often the other way around, that I'm mad at someone or angry about something and then I forget. It doesn't happen often enough about excitement, okay? Listen. Therapist, have you tried quieting your mind? My mind. The answer is yes. Yes, we have tried doing that constantly. So often. Just so often. Like, you're just like, okay, listen, I need to quiet my brain so I can focus. But this is still happening. And you're trying, but it's not working. And with practice, it gets a little bit better, but it's still going to be screaming. It's literally still going to be screaming, you know? That moment when I realized my coffee pot has a straw holder. Yes. I'm sorry, but that is literally a straw holder. You can't tell me otherwise. You literally just can't. It works as a straw holder, so it's a straw holder. That's the rule. I don't actually have a coffee pot like this. But oh well, if I did, I would do it. Definitely. Because again, caffeine it hits my brain, but it doesn't really hit. So, drinking more of it? Yes. When someone asks you a question right after you wake up. Okay, listen. First meme of this video. We've talked about this. Don't do it. I mean, sometimes this will literally happen if someone asks you a question, even though you're like been awake for hours, that you've already done things, but it's still gonna happen because your brain's like, what? I'm not processing. And you're just like, I'm not sure I understand. So this is still gonna happen. This is honestly just an accurate representation of ADHD brain sometimes. But after waking up, again, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I actually really like driving by myself because then I can listen to the same song 31 times in a row without anyone judging me. Literally though. Listen. Because I can listen to the song on repeat however many times I like. And then sometimes I get like really tired of it in the middle of a song. Like in the middle of the song. I'm listening to it like the 20th time in a row, but my brain's just like, no, can't do it anymore. And then I move on. And then sometimes 10 minutes later my brain's like, no, wait, give me the song back. Listen, why? But if I drive alone, I can just go back to it. You know? So, agreed. Literally just agreed. ADHD time processing. Okay, today's Monday, but that means tomorrow is Tuesday and I have class. After that is Wednesday, where I have lunch with my mom. Then on Thursday I have a night class, which means it's already basically Friday, and this week is already over. Also, right now it's 2:30, which means it's almost 3, which means I only have an hour away from 4, which is basically 6. So, how have I stayed up all night? Wait, other people don't think like this? Yeah, literally. Literally. Like, some people at work like to take their lunch break really late. Because then they only have like 1.5 hours or 2 hours to go afterwards. Kinda hate it because then I come back and it's like 2:30 and I know I have 2 hours left, but 2 hours is basically only 1, which means I basically have no time at all, and I know I still have a lot of things to get done because there's always a lot of things to be done, and then it's kind of hard to get myself to start on anything. So it's kind of weird, but other people don't think like this. How do you process time if not like this? Come on. You know, I want to be nice, but everyone annoys me. I used to think I do still say I hate people a lot. It's like my most used sentence at work, basically, because I do. They're frustrating. But I realize that my level of getting frustrated with people is very intense, because how my emotions work is, if you do something that I don't like, even if it's technically just like a minor inconvenience, I'm gonna be so mad. So mad. I'll never stay too mad for long, but if it happens more than 3 times, I'm just not gonna like that person anymore, and I'll probably not even remember why, because in the big picture, it doesn't even freaking matter what they did. Like, it's really, like, it's fine. But if you're rude to me, I'm gonna be so much more annoyed, even. Now, actually, if you're rude to me for no reason, I'm just gonna be completely done immediately and probably still not remember why, but still, I try to be nice, but everyone annoys me. Everyone annoys me. I can't help it, you know? Okay, instead of using the same password everywhere, I use multiple different variations of the same password where I change one letter or add one number and so on. This is super secure and protects all my accounts from ever being able to get logged onto by me. Yeah, literally. I think we've been over this like 20 times. Passwords, man. Passwords are just frustrating. Alright? I can never remember. So the whole never write your passwords down is so rubbish. Because if I don't, how am I ever gonna get into anything again? Right? Come on. Okay, but have you thought about using a calendar or a planner or... Shut the fuck up. Please shut the fuck up. Listen, if something as simple as keeping a calendar or a planner would help and be a good long-term solution and just keep working, you really think we haven't tried? Do you really honestly think we're that stupid that we don't think of like the most basic, obvious solution and just like, no, that's too obvious, we're just not even gonna try it? Don't you think we have tried so much? So yeah, I want to use a planner to smack you with it. Not condoning violence, but some people, you know, some people kind of make it tempting. Neurotypicals. Why are you so weird? You're really weird. Me, I'm autistic. Neurotypicals. But then why are you so normal? You're really normal. Y'all? I don't like telling people to pick a side because usually it's some bullshit that you really don't need to pick a side bit. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say someone's weird but normal. Like obviously, like, what? If you think someone is weird because they do things, they're just like very normal for someone who's autistic. So like, I don't know, maybe they keep stimming and you find it weird that they constantly have their stim toy on them. And you think it's really weird of them. Then you can't turn around and be like, no, but you're really normal once they tell you they're autistic. That makes no freaking sense. What are you doing? So I found out that the reason I don't miss people is because of ADHD. It's really out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, I'm really bad at staying in contact with people. Listen, if I don't see you anymore every day, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna remember to text you. I'm really sorry, because then there are people that I literally, like, I think about them every once in a while. I'm just like, oh my god, this person, right, I miss them so much, because in that moment I remember them. But then something happens and I'm already distracted and I never texted them in the first place. Which is why having friends who are friends with your other friends kind of works, because then they sometimes make plans. Or just like, you're in a group chat and then like you keep being reminded of that. So that kind of works. But sorry about it. You know, I don't have the mental capacity to deal with this right now. Send it down the later tube. Oh, great idea. Later. Wait, what's this? You dropped it off earlier? Huh. I really don't remember doing that. Later tube. This is a very accurate representation of what happens. Because just like, I have to do the thing, but I can't deal with it right now. Like, I'm busy with something else, so I'll just do it later. But then it always plops up at the weirdest times as well. Like, it's never when you're just sitting there and it's like, okay, I kind of want to do something, but I don't know why. The later tube, not that reliable. And sometimes it's a little bit with socks and tumblers. Sometimes things just get lost and never come down the other end of the later tube, so not the most reliable method, but it just keeps happening anyways. Okay, there are so many things I have to do. There are so many things I could do, yet here I am, yet I can't move. I feel this way too hard, and I really wish neurotypicals would feel this as hard, not because they can relate, but just because maybe it'll make them understand that it's not just us being lazy of like, okay, I have to do so many things, but I don't feel like doing it, so I'm not going to. Because literally, I kind of wish it was just that. Because then it wouldn't stress us so much. If you're just like, honestly, no, I'm just gonna procrastinate because I don't feel like doing it. Fine. But oftentimes you're just sitting there and you're just like, okay, I have to do the thing. And then you maybe just like doom scrolling on your phone. Or like something is running in the background, but you're not really paying attention to that either because you're just so stuck in that like thought loop of I have to do the thing and I have to do the thing, but you can't get yourself to move. And that literally is so much worse than just being lazy. I would rather be lazy, but then this happens, you know? My parents at report card time, and me last month when I found my old report cards and read the teacher's comments. Listen, grade 1 through 3, it just said really messy handwriting, or really needs to improve handwriting or something. And I feel that, because it hasn't gotten better since. It literally just hasn't, because my brain moves, but my hand's just trying to keep up, really. And then it just always looks super messy. I don't know, man. It's the worst. When someone asks where you see yourself in 5 years, buddy, I'm just trying to make it to Friday. Okay, listen, I can never tell if it is because I spent my teenage years depressed and suicidal, if that's just why my sense of future is just kind of fucked. Because it's like, I never thought I would still be here at 24. I had no idea this was gonna happen. I have no idea what I'm doing here. So I'm just kind of taking it day by day because fuck it, was I supposed to have some concept of life, really? Okay, cool. Kind of missed that, you know? So now we're just vibing. And like in the past 2 years, my sense of just vibing with it has actually gotten better because it was always like, I have no clue what I want to do in 5 years or 10 years. I have no idea what I want. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. But now, I still don't know. But I'm much more chill with it because honestly, we're just here, you know, we're just doing things. Honestly, I'm much more relaxed about it now. So I kind of can't wait to get older because I think it'll get more relaxed. Because even in the past like 2 or 3 years, I've gotten more relaxed. Like with 20, I was so much more stressed out about everything than I am now. And that's kind of nice. So kind of can't wait to get older. Kind of confused about age in general. So I honestly, don't ask me. You know, I'm probably more confused than this little, you know, I forgot the name. I literally forgot the name of this animal. Oh, wow. Okay, how do I teach my body that my fight and flight response is supposed to be for life or death situation and not answering an email? Literally how? If you find out, please tell me. People, take life one step at a time. The steps. It kind of doesn't work. Because if you try to take it one step at a time, you're still gonna fall on your face. You're still just gonna fall on your face and gonna slide like all the way down again at some point. You know, maybe get some salt. But that's kind of it. Like if you have enough executive functioning because you're neurotypical, maybe you're already like equipped with spiky boots. That's your executive functioning. So you can kind of safely get up these stairs one step at a time. Maybe you even have a little bit of salt or a flamethrower. And hopefully they're stone stairs and aren't gonna like burn. But still, maybe you have a flamethrower, right? I'm getting way off topic, but you know, that's kind of the tools neurotypicals have, and they think just like everyone has them. But then at some point, I wish they learned that we don't. You know, I love saying, sorry, I'm out of it today, as if there has been a day in the past 10 years that I've actually been in it. Listen, I do this with that. I'm just like, oh, sorry, I'm really confused today. Or, oh, I don't know, I'm really tired today. As if it isn't kind of more of a mental fatigue that's just kind of been ongoing for at least 10 years. But people don't need to know that, you know? They just they'll figure it out at some point, probably, if you do it too often, but they don't need to know that. You know? Okay, when people call me high-functioning, it means I am good at hiding my struggles, so I'm not an inconvenience to people around me, because I have the ability to suffer in silence. Ooh, congrats. Listen. It makes you easier to be around, for a lot of people, sure. It makes you more productive or desirable at work, sure. But at the end of the day, you have to struggle. I don't want to, well, actually so much more, because you're just masking all of that all day to not inconvenience the people around you. But then you go home and you're just so burned out, and it keeps building because you're doing it every day. So really, I get why we do it. Literally, I'm not saying I'm better. I'm not saying I'm not doing it. But still, the whole high functioning or low functioning labels, really damaging in general, because it's not even like a linear thing, right? But anyways, the fact that we live in a society where we have to hide our struggles to be deemed worthy or something, so rubbish. My god. All of my ADHD symptoms coming together to keep me awake at night. Understimulation, impulsivity, hyperactivity, rejection, sensitive dysphoria. What do I have to do to get some sleep around here? Literally, what do I have to do? Tell me. Just tell me. Listen. My god, I've been taking melatonin for the past few weeks, at least like during the week. Because it helps a little bit, but it doesn't actually help too much. Oh well. Meet my brain after it refuses to focus on the task at hand. I have asked you thrice. Listen. Once again, I'm just afraid 3 times is not going to be enough. We try. We really do. But it doesn't work. And I'm really glad that we can laugh about it together. Because I feel like it's either laughing about it or crying about it, and I don't want to cry about it. So I'm glad we can laugh about it together with some memes. Because listen, it's so frustrating. Because it's so easy to forget that it's gonna pass. Literally, even if you're like really emotional about something, because it just boils up inside of you, or like anger boils up in you, or stress boils up in you. Like, it's never clear in the moment, because you completely forget that it's not gonna last. But the more you think about how it's not gonna last, the easier it is to kind of catch it and remind yourself in the moment, which is what I mean. You kind of learn to deal with like a lot of it better over time. And I love that they're memes, but they're still kind of informational. And if you're neurotypical and watching this, please tell me you're not one of those dickheads who's just like, oh, everyone's a little autistic, or, oh yeah, no, we all do that. Because literally, no. Just no. You know? But anyways, we had fun. Maybe even learned something. I hope you finished your drink. But yeah, if you haven't, do it now. And then I'll be back in 3 days to remind you again.